Hey everyone, I've been waiting 2.5 years to make this announcement. We've got a massive upgrade to ad history. It includes 4 to 10 times more ads for every website. We're tracking landing page URLs now. We got the full ad copy instead of just the top few lines. And most importantly, we've got data for every country in our database, not just the US and UK data like we did in the past. So every piece of information that you see on SpyFu is now fully connected. Our huge amount of paid keywords now connecting back to the ads, which connect back to the SERPs. So hold tight. I'm going to walk through all this with you. And if you get to the end, I'm also going to show you something crazy and interesting you can do with this new international data. Just a reminder about how ad history works. So you put in a website. I put in HubSpot.com here. And what it does is it pulls up you can see every ad and every ad variation that they've ever run, every split test and the results of those split tests. So with HubSpot, we're looking at, like, let's say HubSpot free CRM tool. And here we are looking at October 2023 through April of 2025. And it goes back to the beginning of time, right? So we've been collecting this data since about 2007. So for most companies, you can see their entire Google Ads campaign, likely the very first ad that the founder ever wrote, and every split test and ad variation all the way through now. So here, each time this changes color, we actually see that there's a different ad variation. And ultimately, when you roll all this up together, it's kind of hard to see potentially on a single keyword, but when we roll it all up, you get a really good sense of which of these ads is actually winning. Now, you can go ad by ad for a single keyword all through time. And every single one of these is auditable back to a screenshot of the SERP. So if you ever need to prove it to yourself or prove it to a client, you can do that with ad history. The way that I like to use the product is over here, right? This is basically taking all of the ads on here and showing you how frequently those show up relative to one another, right? And so we get a good sense of, their sort of best ads. Note that we're now collecting the landing page URLs, which is something like probably one of our most requested features over the last several years. And frankly, it's been something that I've wanted to deliver for so long. We've been running this particular aspect of SpyFu on our legacy systems, not the massively upgraded 100x data scaled systems. So you're going to see a lot more data and more data going forward. This data is now updated like every second, right? We're pulling in new ads, maybe processing 1,000 SERPs per second. It's a pretty robust, pretty awesome system. And now finally, ad history is part of it. So let me show you a little bit here what we can do. This is just kind of their most profitable keywords in general. But let's say that I want to zoom in on a particular portion of it. Their top keywords tend to be about CRMs, but let's see if they show up. Let's see how they advertise on CMS. So we've got several CMS keywords. Their biggest ad here is HubSpot free CMS tools. This ad serves on about 50% of those impressions. In fact, here's your CRM stuff. So this is kind of their exclusive advertisement on, HubSpot free CMS tools. So that's how that works for them. Let's see. You can export all this stuff, whatever. So that's roughly how ad history works. So I've talked before about how we have easily the most paid data for Google Ads among anybody in the industry. Here for this HubSpot, we have 9,100 total keywords. If we look in SEMrush, they've got 2,800 keywords. Let's see how they do on something like Home Depot. Pretty big advertiser. We've got 112,000 keywords. Yeah, so we're at 6 times the number of keywords there for those guys. Every website that I've looked at, it's about 4 to 10 times more ads. So pretty massive upgrade. Furthermore, all that stuff was always rolled up monthly because that's what that data collection did. It was a gigantic monolithic batch that ran every month. Now this stuff is updating, thousands of times per second. For Apple, they have 5,000 keywords. And what do we have? We have 36,000 keywords. So pretty significant data superiority on this stuff. Right now, we're still the best by far that there is in the world. Let's have a look at what I mean by the world. Check this out. We used to only be able to do UK data on this. We can still do UK data. But we've got every one of our countries. We're adding about 2 countries, 2 countries per month. Let's have a look at France. France has got lots of ads. Let's look at Portugal. We've got Portuguese ads. Let's have a look at how about what's a new one? How about Sweden? Sweden's newish. Hey, look at that. And let's have a look at Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. Let's go. Hey, okay, that's cool. Look at that. Now, what's interesting here is that in this case, it's in English. So this is kind of the interesting problem. Our friends here at HubSpot are probably overspending by millions of dollars a month on ads that are in the wrong language for their audience. Apple, when we switch to sort of France, or all of their ads here are in French. We look at Italian. We got the same thing going on, I'm sure. Everything is in Italian. So let's look at HubSpot in France. Every one of the ads by HubSpot in here is in English, right? And I can prove it to you because I have a screenshot of the SERP. If you've got an ad blocker, you need to turn that ad blocker off in order to see this. But here you go. Here's HubSpot advertising in English on google.fr. Like every other ad, all the stuff on here is in French. Same thing in Germany. English, 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 all English. Let's go look at that SERP. Here's, it's probably gonna be the bottom. Here's that ad, right? It's easy to make this kind of mistake. So you need to kind of keep track of things, because even if you were to look in your Google Ads, you wouldn't see this. You certainly wouldn't stumble upon it. They seem to have their act together in Latin America. When I look at Brazil, everything is actually in Portuguese for these guys. When I look at Mexico, where's Mexico? Come on, Mexico. There you are. Okay, so let's see what happens when we do Spain, because we know that they have a Spanish version of their stuff. I'm going to say in Europe, as a general rule, they are sending only English, but in Latin America, they're sending the right language, and that language is sometimes Spanish and sometimes Portuguese. Same thing we've got going in Ukraine, right? So this is going to be like, whoa, a pretty obvious problem. Go in here, look at this screenshot, Ukrainian content all the way down here at the bottom. We've got these guys, right? So you might think, okay, maybe what they're doing is they're doing this on purpose because this is an English language word. But if we go back here to the French stuff, like the English language word often is just the brand, right? So they're showing up obviously on their brand, they're advertising on their brand, and just on their brand alone, all of these are not, there's like this one little guy right here that's in in French, but everything else, the vast majority of what they're doing is in English. It's basically flushing money down the toilet. Now, how much money is it? Well, that's the question, right? It's quite a bit, right? It's a decent chunk of change. This is a pretty big account. So in the US, they're spending $2.1 million. In these other countries, Germany, France, pretty big spend, actually. All things considered, this isn't a small waste of money. It's a pretty big waste of money, especially when you add it all up. Use this to get yourself some clients. Use this to make sure that you're not wasting money yourself, because Google will broadly match everything. We know that they're going to overly broadly match stuff. I've personally lost money doing ad campaigns where, let's see, there's this setting where the ad is going to display to people that are in the United States or interested in the United States. So that kind of works well if somebody is, for example, interested. They don't live in California, but they might be moving there, so they're interested in it. But when it's a country, it's kind of weird, right? Especially when it's the United States. If they're interested in the United States, it might be that they watch like Seinfeld reruns. This is something that you're able to do now that we haven't been able to do before. Let me know what you think. I am super stoked to be able to bring this to you guys after so long. It actually was the very last thing, and everything now on SpyFu, the whole thing connects and everything is updating 1,000 SERPs per second, 24/7, 365. So all this data is instantly fresh, and I hope you love it.